What's up everyone, this is Emilio with Quick Property Solutions, and in this video today I'm going to be talking about 4 steps to getting your very first investment property or just purchasing a property in general. Today I'm in Detroit. I'm in Midtown Detroit. I just had lunch at Slo's Barbecue, so if you're in the Detroit area, come support local businesses and eat here. The food is great. Try the brisket sandwich, it was amazing, and their mac and cheese was really good. So if you follow me on this channel, you know a lot of the times I talk about Detroit real estate, about where to invest in Detroit, things like that. But I did want to talk about a more broad subject about real estate investing, and that's, how do we even go about purchasing a property? There are a lot of people that reach out to me that are people that are interested in investing in Detroit, but they're coming from other states and they've actually never even bought a property before ever. They're just looking for an investment property to purchase, and they're looking into Detroit, and some of them are asking me, like, how do I even go about buying it? So I wanted to make this video for you and talk to you about the steps, quick, easy steps to just try and get your first property. So the one thing I do want to point out is that these are 4 simple steps, 4 quick steps, but the thing is there are obviously like sub steps within those steps, but I just wanted to try and make it as quick and simplified as possible to make the video, kind of short and sweet, and also give you very simplified, easy to understand and digest tutorial on how to purchase a property. All right, step number 1. The first thing you have to do is you have to find your property. So how do you find a property? You could either go to a realtor, you could also talk to wholesalers. Wholesalers are people that find deals off market for people to invest and purchase. You could market for the properties yourself by doing, cold calling, direct mail, texting, and you can market the property yourself. But the first step is to find a deal. And what's going to happen is once you find a deal, then you have to say, hey, is this deal even worth it? Is it like too expensive? Is this really the property for me to purchase? So to make it as easy as possible, I'm going to talk about purchasing a property, renovating it, and then flipping it back on the market. So you do have to understand some general knowledge about analyzing a property and running your numbers. So there is a formula out there. I did make a video about it a couple years ago, but I think I'll make another video about it again. But I use a formula called the Mayo formula. It's very common. If you YouTube it or Google it, everyone talks about it. Mayo is maximum allowable offer. So what you're going to do is you're going to analyze this property that you found. You're not going to make an offer on it. You're just going to see, is it priced well? You got to understand the value of the property that you're buying. So if somebody says, I have a house, it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, it's only 50 grand. And you're like, wow, that's like actually not that bad. But if you look at all the houses in the area, and all the houses that are fixed up are only selling for 75 grand, and it's going to cost you 30 grand to fix it up, you're going to spend 80 grand on a house that's only worth 75. Or that same house could be in a neighborhood where the houses are selling for 150,000 and you have to put 30 into it. Well, that's a different story. So you do have to analyze the property. You have to run your numbers. So the Mayo formula is called maximum allowable offer. It pretty much means what's the highest dollar amount you will pay to get this property. You have to know what your profit margin is. You have to know what the houses are selling for that are fixed up in the area are selling for. You have to understand the renovation costs. So, again, like when I said there's like sub questions underneath these simple steps, that's one of them. So what you want to do is you do want to go and do some research on the Mayo formula. If you subscribe to my channel, I will be releasing another video about the Mayo formula and how that's broken down. So once you analyze the property and you're like, you know what, I like this property, I like the purchase price, I want to purchase it. So what do? Step number 3 is you have to make an offer on the property. So when you see the property and they say, I want $50,000 for it, you're going to run your numbers and you say, I want to buy it for $50,000. So you're going to write up an offer and say, hey, here's a purchase agreement. And then you have to send it to the agent for the seller to sign, or if it's a wholesaler, you have to have the wholesaler send it to the seller to sign. Or if you're direct to the seller and you did the marketing on your own, like through texting or through cold calling, then you send the offer to the seller to sign. So once that seller signs the contract and you sign the contract, you now have a contract that states you will buy it for $50,000, but you also need an out clause. So the out clause means if I don't like this property, I want to get out of it. So the most common out clause is property inspection. So it's contingent on property inspection, which means I saw the house, I like the price, I saw the pictures, I think it's going to cost this much to renovate. I think I want to purchase this property. So once you sign the purchase agreement with the seller and you put down a refundable deposit, then you have your property inspection. So what you want to do is you go on your property inspection and you bring your contractor to go with you on the property inspection. So if you estimated the property to have, let's say, $30,000 in rehab, and you walk it with your contractor and he says, you know what, this is going to cost $30,000. You're exactly right. That's how much it's going to cost. Then the deal is good. So what you're going to do is after your property inspection, you just tell the seller or agent or wholesaler, I like the property, I want to move forward with the property. So then you start writing up the paperwork to the title company. You send the paperwork to the title company. They do their title searches, they get all the paperwork in order, and then you set a closing date, which is step number 4. So let's go back to step number 3. So step number 3 is the offer. So let's say you write the offer and it's accepted and you go on your property inspection and the contractor says, hey, you know what? This is going to cost like $45,000 to actually fix this up. And in your mind, you're like, well, I was only planning on spending $30,000. So after you're done with the property inspection, you go back to the agent, wholesaler, or you go back to the seller and say, hey, would you accept $50,000 minus $15,000 overage on the renovation? You have to take a $15,000 reduction. Would you be willing to sell it for $35,000? And then the seller could say, yes, I will sell it, or the agent or wholesaler, I will sell it for $35,000. Perfect. So then you write up an addendum and everybody agrees to $35,000. You send all that paperwork to the title company and you go to step number 4, which is the closing. So let's go back again to step number 3 with the offer. Let's say you said $35,000 and they're like, $35,000 is too low. The best I could probably do was like $45,000. And then you could say, $45,000, can you do like $42,000? And this is where the negotiation comes into play. Now what's going to happen is you are overpaying. At $50,000 was fine, but now, at $35,000 was fine. Now at let's say $42,000, you're not making as much, but you're still making a profit. So it's up to you to negotiate those prices and just say, hey, this is as high as I can go. But that's how the best thing to do is, like, if the seller is asking a certain amount, unless it's like a amazing market and the houses are flying off the shelf, you want to go below that. You always want to bid under. So let's say it's 35, then they're going to come down, because when sellers try and sell, they say 50, but really they'll take 40, right? So let's say they start at 50, you go to 35, they go down to 45, you go up to 40, and then like you meet in the middle. It's a negotiation. So let's say you negotiate with the other side and then they say 42 is acceptable. Then you sign the addendum, and then you take that addendum, you send it to title, and you go to step number 4, which is the closing, and then you purchase the property. Another thing you could do too with the contractor, just to let you know, is that if they said it costs $45,000, ask if they could do it for like $40,000, or instead of having one contractor walk it, have 3 contractors walk it. And these are contractors that you know and you vetted and you like their work, and then have them bid each other out. So if let's say one says 45, another says 40, another says 42, then that doesn't mean go to the one with 40. If you like the guy at 45, just see if he'll take. He says it's going to take $45,000. See if he'll do it for 40, and negotiate with the contractor. So you're negotiating with the seller, and you're negotiating with the contractor as well. And that's pretty much it. So then you take all that paperwork, send it to the title company, go to the closing. They book a closing date, and you go there and you sign your documents. The buyer goes there and they sign their documents, and then there you go. You got to obviously send the money to the title company, all that kind of stuff. But again, I want to make this a very quick and simple video for you to understand. If you do like this video, mostly I talk about Detroit real estate investing, but I do want to start reaching out to newer people and a wider audience. So if you do want me to cover some more real estate investing tips or how to do things, please comment in the description, comment below. You know, if you want to reach out to me and you have any questions, there's a link in the description below to reach out to me. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'm trying to get more people to watch these videos because I want to provide value for people, and the more people that see it, the more value I can provide. So I hope everybody that you watched this video and you got some value out of it. And again, if you need anything at all, reach out to me. I'll answer your questions as best as I can. And this is Emilio, and I'll be talking to you soon.